Hello everyone, this is the NLE Ninja and I'm here to bring you some tips for working faster in Premiere Pro. In this video, I hope to show everyone that a start or even a transition to Premiere Pro is a worthwhile trip. Altogether, I'll show you 8 tips that you can use the next time you work in Premiere Pro. The first tip starts with using one of the custom keyboard shortcuts I created using the Final Cut Pro 7 preset that comes along with Premiere Pro CS5 and CS5.5. I've modified them a bit to make use of more of the Premiere Pro capabilities so that editing is more fluid. I'm going to show you how to install these shortcuts on a Mac system, but for PC users, please refer to the Adobe Help section on adobe.com. Let's bring up our Finder. Let's go to our Home folder. Let's double click on the Library folder. Let's go to Application Support. Let's go to the Adobe folder and scroll down and find Premiere Pro. Now, depending on what Premiere Pro you currently have installed on your Mac, you're going to want to select the one accordingly. So I'm going to choose Premiere Pro CS5.5 right here. Once you download the link for the keyboard shortcuts, the file will look something like this. It will say NLE Ninja Shortcuts.keys. This is where you want to place the NLE Ninja shortcuts on your Mac system. Once you do that, it should show up in Premiere Pro as an option for selecting keyboard shortcuts. Let's hide our Finder for now. Back in Premiere Pro, let's go to the top and click on Premiere Pro, and let's select keyboard shortcuts. For users of Adobe Premiere Pro CS5, you're going to want to go to Edit and select Keyboard Customization. Click on the Keyboard Layout preset and you'll see that the NLE Ninja shortcuts are now available. Select them and you'll see the default keyboard layout change. I provided a PDF of all the shortcuts I've modified so that you can reference them if need be. For my future tutorials, I will use these keys whenever I say a keyboard shortcut during an effect. It's up to you whether or not you choose to use them. The next tip involves track highlighting. One of the few things that bugs me is how Premiere Pro allows the user to navigate through tracks. If you don't have a track highlighted, you can't navigate through clips easily. Here's a way to highlight either all video tracks or audio tracks. If you select a video track or audio track and hold down Shift, it'll highlight all the tracks. To deselect all video or audio tracks, hold down the Shift key again and select the track. This will come in handy if you only need one track highlighted or all of them. This next tip is actually something I picked up from a great book titled Editor's Guide to Premiere Pro, and it deals with getting faster render previews. Go up to Sequence and select Sequence Settings. Go to Video Previews. Change the file format to iframe only MPEG. The codec box will be grayed out. Next, bring the width and height down to something like 640 by 360. And make sure the maximum options are turned off. After you've done that, hit OK. This will tell you that changing the file format or preview file size will require the preview files to be deleted, and it can't be undone. If you see that, hit OK. Let's test this tip out by taking a clip in our timeline and applying a few filters. Let's set our work area by pressing Option left bracket on the in point and Option right bracket on the out point. Now, if we go up to Sequence, Render Effects and Work Area, we'll get a much faster render, like so. You should see a boost in render speeds after doing this from this point on. One thing to note, however, is when you go to export your project, make sure you set the output file dimensions back to the dimensions your media was. That way, you won't run into any issues. The next tip is doing a replace edit from the project browser using the Option key. Say you have a clip in your timeline that you don't like and you want to replace it with another clip. There are a few ways to do it from the source monitor level, but you can do it by dragging a clip from the project browser and holding down the Option key. Let's select the clip in our project browser. Hold down the Option key and drag it to the timeline to perform a replace edit. Now, your new clip will inherit the old clip's place in the timeline, but it'll also inherit any motion attributes and filters that you applied previously. If your new clip does not have enough media to accommodate the old clip, you'll see zebra stripes at the end of it, indicating so. In order to get rid of that, just set an in and out point around that area with the zebra stripes and delete that section, or you can just trim it down. This next tip is also something I picked up from the book Editor's Guide to Premiere Pro, and involves rearranging a clip's position in the timeline. Select a clip and drag it from left to right. While dragging, hold down the Option and Command key. Once you let go of the clip, it'll swap the position of the clip and move other clips to a new position. This comes in handy when you need to manually move clips and don't want to have to place them on tracks 2 or 3 just to move them to a new location. So try this tip out next time you have to rearrange clips in your timeline. Do you ever run into the situation where you need to move a group of clips together and you have to constantly worry whether everything you've edited will stay the same way it was before? Well, Premiere Pro has the ability to group audio and video clips together so that rearranging is easier. Let me illustrate. I have a video clip and an audio clip in my timeline that have no relation to each other. Now, I can just highlight them and move them in the timeline and there'll be no problem. But once I start adding more audio and video clips, I would have to try to highlight those audio and video clips together successfully, which can be a pain. If I select my audio and video clip together and press Command G to group, from now on, whenever I select either the video or the audio, they will both be highlighted and move across the timeline together. Let me illustrate. To turn this off, just select the clips again and press Shift Command G to ungroup, and the next time you do a selection, only video and audio will be highlighted. This tip will come in handy when you have to do a lot of rearranging of a group of clips and you want to keep them together the way they are edited so you don't have to reinvent the wheel all over again. So try this tip out next time you're editing in Premiere Pro. Creating keyframes with the same value can be cumbersome when putting together an animation or adjusting audio. Well, the option key is your friend in this case. When you keyframe a parameter in the effects control panel, select the keyframe, hold down the option key, and drag either left to right and it will create a duplicate keyframe with the same value, like so. This tip will come in handy when you need to create multiple keyframes and you forget to add a same value keyframe by mistake. We all know how often that happens, so next time you edit in Premiere Pro, try this tip out and you won't be disappointed. Our last tip is a quick organization tip which involves creating and naming bins in 3 steps. Say you imported a lot of media and you need to create a new bin. You can do that by clicking on the new bin button at the very bottom and rename the bin and then drag your media inside of it, or you can try this method. Highlight your unorganized media in your project browser. Drag the clips to the new bin button. Name the bin to taste. There you go. In about the same amount of steps, I created and named my bin accordingly. This works even when you have bins inside of bins, like so. Try this out next time you need to organize your assets in your project browser. Well, that's it for working faster in Premiere Pro. I hope you learned something new about Premiere that you may or may not have knew before. Hopefully, this can help you out in your editing experiences and allow you to work faster. I have a new effects tutorial coming out soon, which is a subscriber favorite inside of Premiere Pro, and it's titled Music Video Effects Volume 4. It will feature some new effects as well as some old effects that you've seen in previous volumes. Here's the preview you'll see when it comes out. I hope you all enjoyed that because that is what I'll be showing you in my next tutorial. But until then, stay creative.